First of all, I thought I'd better warn those of a nervous disposition that my speech will contain violence, nudity, and within your fear, audience participation. To assist you in this, I have a little blue triangle. If that is on the slide, you on the next slide will have one of those three on.
Easy is boring. I don't know when I first started to think this, but once it sinks in, it begins to change the way you look at whatever you're doing.
People, help the people, nothing will drag you down. Oh, and if I had a brain, oh, and if I had a brain, I'd be cold as a stone and rich as the fool that turned all those good hearts away.
So I said, okay, go on then, you can tell me about it. And they said, well, we did it. And I thought it was all easy, I thought, that one. I said, oh, I know that you did it. I just need you to tell me what it is. And then they looked at each other again, very sheepishly looked at me and said, sir, we stole the horse.
When Charles Darwin worked out the origin of species by natural selection, he had no access to these direct visualizations of time, and yet he conceived what has been called one of the greatest ideas in the history of science by imagining the effects of deep time on living things. He was able to picture the growth of the tree of life in his imagination, branching into new species as we today can watch a plant grow from a seed in sped-up time.
I think it was when I was 3. I went to my nana's flat. I think it was for Christmas, and I got 2 presents, which was felt tip pens and a sketchbook. I literally didn't look at another present. Once they gave me that, I sat down and that's all I wanted. My mum tried to take the pad and pens off me and gave me another present. I threw the present on the floor and tried to reach for the pens and pad. You know, it's probably the, I don't know, rhythmic drawing or something that just makes me concentrate and makes me not think about anything. I love it. It's great. It's part of the thrill of drawing for me.
Colour, colour, colour is crazy. For example, at the end of this talk, I'm going to convince every person in this room that these 3 colours up here are identical.
This is the National Physical Laboratory. It's the home of precision measurement. And precision measurement actually brings the whole world into focus. It allows us... Thank you. It allows us to see the world clearly the way it really is. Now, I don't know exactly what I'm going to be doing tonight. I did have a clear plan yesterday, but at about 5 o'clock I just thought I'd test it one last time, and the experiment exploded. It literally exploded, and I've had a very, very busy day getting a version together, so I hope it will.
So this may not work, but anyway, you have to make it to within about a millimeter or so tolerance, and the curves are exactly symmetrical. And to have a staple there, and a staple, another thing, ruled out by origami, but it's just stationary materials, anything you can make quickly. You can actually make sure that the thing is symmetrical. And then you do that. Okay? Right?
You got wires going in, you got wires coming out of your skin, fist jaws like drop of blood on my fingertips, running down corridors through automatic doors. Got to get to you, got to see this through.
And we had the same problem with the Russians as with the Navy, that we had to arrange to make a bracket so that we could join the camera to the helicopter. And what I thought would be interesting here is just to compare very briefly the two differences between the British bracket, which took 3 months to do. I remember one meeting, there was a team of 26 people in one room planning it. We did 2 days of ground tests, we did 2 hours of flight testing, and it cost thousands of pounds. On the Captain Kalemnikov, we had to make a Russian bracket. It took 3 hours to make. It took 2 Russian engineers who didn't speak any English. They did a ground test for 2 minutes. I insisted on a flight test because they wouldn't do it, which they did for 50 seconds. And the cost, well, the last picture, it was a bottle of vodka.
Of the electricity, the severity of the head trauma, I was kept in an induced coma for 90 hours to allow the swelling in the brain to decrease. And the accident caused intracranial hypertension, metabolic and respiratory acidosis, cerebral edema, which is an excess accumulation of water in the brain, pneumonia, heart failure, renal failure, and 21 other critical diagnostics. There they are in Spanish. Translate them if you can. And then there's pneumonia. On the 3rd day, the nurses discovered the exit wound within my hair. Now, electricity travels with an entrance and an exit. Fortunately, the current, well, it entered, not really fortunately, but it entered on my mouth towards here, and I still have some scars to remain. But the electricity travelled across the skin's surface, fortunately not through the skull to my brain, otherwise probably wouldn't be here today, but it exited on my head, where it resulted in a 10 by 15 centimetre open lesion.